Hello and welcome back to the Lorcana Lexicon. Today, we're going to be looking at a deck that I'm quite excited about. Since the game's inception, I have been enamoured by the Emerald cards. Cards like Kuzco, Cheshire Cat, Mad Hatter, cards that punish your opponent for even thinking about challenging your characters. I've been looking for a shell that can really make the most out of that. I started with Emerald and Amber, but it just felt it was too one-dimensional. You were just going for this aggro thing that was fairly easy for your opponents to break up. Then I tried doing Emerald and Ruby, but it just felt a bit all over the place. The cards felt like they were at odds with what each other wanted to do. So I've landed on this Emerald and Amethyst deck that I am really excited about. So here we have the deck. Now, if you want it in text form, it will be in the description below, but here's a graphic right now. We play 4 Yzma, 4 Flynn, 4 Cruella, 4 Maleficent Sorceress, 4 Hands, 3 Cheshire Cat, 4 Kuzco, 4 Mad Hatter, 4 Zeus, 4 John Silver, the full 4 John Silver. I've been so impressed with this card. I started with 2, I'm up at the full 4 now. 4 Befuddle, 3 Mother Knows Bests, 4 Friends on the other side, 2 Genies, 4 Elsas and 4 Jaspers. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about the card choices and the strategy we're going for here. Now, this is an aggro tempo deck, and I really like these decks because they allow you to be multi-noted. The aggro decks that are just all in being aggro just get blown out too hard by the steel cards, whereas playing a tempo strategy allows us to be an anti-aggro deck that can beat up on aggro decks, as well as having an aggro game plan of our own when we realise that we are the aggressive deck into these Amethyst and Ruby control decks that we're seeing a lot of right now. The core of the deck is Flynn Rider, Cheshire Cat, Kuzco and Mad Hatter. Now, all of these cards have Punisher effects. Kuzco and the Cheshire Cat destroy whoever challenges and banishes them. Flynn Rider makes your opponent discard cards for challenging them. And Mad Hatter allows you to draw cards if your opponent challenges them. And John Silver pushes all these cards to their limit by giving your opponents Reckless. Sometimes that means their massive creature just has to barrel into your Cheshire Cat. Yzma and Cruella are in the deck just as incubables that we can play on turn 2 when we don't have Flynn Rider. And then we have this little shell of 3 drops in Maleficent, Elsa and Jasper. Now, these cards are all really important in this strategy. Elsa, because it allows us to make profitable challenges into the aggro decks. Jasper is the best card that Emerald has against aggro decks, as the 2/4 body is super well statted and also prevents the aggro decks from questing aggressively. And Maleficent is a free card, and all of these cards allow you to sing Friends on the Other Side and Mother Knows Best. So we can get these massive tempo plays where we can play our 3-drop and then either draw a bunch of cards and then deploy a Hands or a Zeus on the following turn, or we can use Mother Knows Best to put their best card back in their hand and deploy another threat and just continue getting board control. Hands is just insanely statted, and Zeus is secretly a removal spell that gives our opponent's cards Reckless. When Zeus comes in and challenges, he's a 4/4, and that beats most things on curve. And the problem with Zeus is you cannot allow your opponent to ready up a Zeus. So you're almost forced to challenge the Zeus when he's down, because he's got 0 power, so you have to take the free card there and then. So again, into these aggro decks, that forces our opponents to not be able to quest the turn after we play Zeus in a lot of cases. And then we have Befuddles and Genies to round out the deck, just again to push this tempo plan. Genie comes down on turn 6, potentially protecting our Mad Hatters and our Kuzcos and allowing us to just push an advantage, and Befuddle does the same thing in the early turns of the game. I'm really excited about this deck because it allows us to attack on so many angles. So let's hop into a couple of games. Okay, so here we're on the first game. This sounds pretty reasonable. I'm going to put Genie back. I just want to make sure we've got things to do in the early game. We're going first, which makes the Befuddle less exciting to me. We've got 2s, we've got ink, so we don't really need this. I like our curve of Flynn into Maleficent, and then trying to get to Kuzco. Zeus is an awesome pickup there. Okay, so let's just start. I'm pretty confident we're going to play the Flynn, so let's just throw the Yzma into the ink and throw it back to our opponent. Come on, opponent, what are you up to? A Flounder, okay, we're blue. Blue Amber. Okay, I really like this matchup because the Blue Amber decks have a great difficulty clearing our board. So as soon as we can take the tempo, we're in massive control of the game because they have very limited ways to get back in. Now, the question is, do I want to put down the Flynn Rider or the Yzma? I think I'm going to put down the Flynn Rider because, again, as soon as we can just bleed them of cards, we can get ahead. So Flynn Rider puts them in a position where their Stitch has to attack it pretty much, which gets us a card, and then we can use Zeus to mop up the following turn. Yeah, okay. Request. This is the amazing thing about Flynn Rider is we are never down a card. Just the act of attacking the Flynn Rider puts us back into a really good position. So here do I want to get the Elsa down? I kind of want to get the Elsa down just to make sure our Zeus has the best attack possible. So let's do that. Let's put the Hatter into the ink, get our Elsa down, and quest. Now this curve of Elsa into Zeus, it's one of the cheekiest things we can do in this deck. Because whatever they play now, Zeus is going to get to blow up. There is nothing they can play here that can survive an attack from Zeus. And Phil is going to quest. It's very interesting. Does this mean they have no play? Okay, no, Rapunzel into think. I assume they have a play. Mouse. So, now we have options. We don't need this Elsa, I don't think. Okay, yeah, the option, yeah, we can just mop up his board here and then set up for now if we do it that way, he can't pop our Zeus, which I actually quite like. Doing it this way means we have I know we lost our Elsa, but it means we have a really good chance of readying up with Zeus, because Mickey cannot deal with Zeus now. Whereas if we did it the other way around, we would have Zeus on 3 damage, but we still have our Elsa in play. But I don't think that's super relevant. I think I'd rather have an active Zeus. Okay, Jasmine. Okay, yeah, and he takes the free attack, but that's fine because now we're getting into this game on right. So I feel like the plan now is just to throw down our 5s and just really start pressuring them. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to start on the Kuzco. Now this is the nice thing, where this Zeus is now just a massive threat. Because of the way that Amber Emerald is set up, they just can't deal with this unless I decide to exert it. Okay, Robin Hood. That's reasonable. Okay. So, yeah, I kind of just want to mop up here and play another Kuzco. Seems good to me. And then if he wants to get rid of this Kuzco, it's going to mean he has to lose his Robin Hood. It's just these tempo plays. The turn that our opponent runs out of cards, we can run away with this entire game. If we draw an Inkable next turn, we can basically negate their entire next turn. So if they're going to use Robin Hood to get rid of this Kuzco and play some Haymaker, we can just Ink, play Genie, undo his turn, and then get ahead. Okay, so we have the 7-cost Stitch in hand. Okay, he's deciding to just quest with the Robin Hood. Okay, Rapunzel into Ink. So because I know he's got the Stitch, I am feeling inclined to just make sure he can't. And again, we are going behind on lore, but our catch-up on lore is so massive that it doesn't matter a great deal. And on that note, I think actually this is the turn where I just put the Genie down and just steal the board back. Okay, Robin Hood back in your hand. And we're just going to spend the next few turns going 8 lore, 8 lore, 8 lore. Hades is good. Hades is good. But again, Hades is going to have a hard time catching up on this board because that's his entire turn. And there isn't good attacks. See how quickly this deck just racks up lore. Yep, and for your crimes you have to lose your Hades. Yep. No touchy! Simba. Okay, don't particularly care about that. So we're going to go up to 14. We'll see what he does. Okay, Stitch is just hitting the inkwell. That's very surprising. Jasmine. Right, okay. So again, we're just going to make the tempo positive play. I don't really want our opponent to be able to use Simba to get rid of Kuzco, and I don't really think we're going to get a better use out of this Befuddle at this point in the game. We don't really need much more than 7 ink, so we're just going to keep turning the screws. Our opponent is now forced into this, and then we're going to be +4 up to 18. And we just have a lot of draws at that point. Okay, Hades again is good. Okay. So now we're in a position where we need to draw well. Because Hades can't pop Jasper straight away, this is fairly free. It means next turn we're going to be up at 18. Okay. And the other Hades is good. Returning that Hades. Okay, our opponent's doing things. Our opponent's really doing things. Okay, here's Simba. Friends on the other side. Okay. I feel like, so he's got Hades in hand. Let's put him to, okay, I think we just have to cast this like this. The Zeus was huge. Can't do everything though. So Zeus takes out this. This takes out this. This takes out this. They play their 7-cost Hades. Tuck something. Is there any other way to do this? We could play Cruella. This is so close. Yeah, okay, I think we just have to put the screws on. Force them into these bad positions, and now they have to use their big Hades to clear the board. And then what we're going to hope is on our next turn, we can just go Guy and hope that's enough. Okay, Hades, there he's there. So yeah, Flynn goes into the ink. And then they mop up our board. So we have Cruella, so all we need to draw is another character now. And hope that holds. But you can see how we massively just stole the tempo back on this game. Hold. Like, we felt behind and we just clawed our way back in with these impressive threats. Okay, is this just our opponent questing because he has nothing else to do? I can't imagine what he does to get back in this game. Would have to be another Hades. Rapunzel, draw 2, but again, it's what can he have to interact with us out of Amber and Sapphire? Let it go. Okay. So, we're in the same position again. Where we just need to hope what we have holds. Because we'll quest. And yeah, and this is not a happy attack for him. I don't want to bounce this. I don't want to bounce this. Well, I don't mind bouncing that, but this isn't a good attack anyway. Okay. This is close. This is close, but I do feel like the big tempo swing with the Genie. Yeah, there we go. Oh, 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 that was a good game. That was a really fun game. Right, okay. So looking at this hand, I kind of like it all. We've got ink, we've got ink, we've got a 4, we've got 2 choices of 3s. I kind of don't want the Yzma, but I just don't mind holding on to it for ink. So I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll make a decision next turn if it's going to be an Elsa or a Maleficent game. Okay, they're not going to let us know. But we don't need to make a decision now, because I definitely don't need 2 Cruellas. So Cruella can just go into the ink and we'll get the other Cruella down. And now next turn we get to make that decision whether it's going to be a Maleficent or an Elsa game. I'm kind of feeling Maleficent just because we don't have a Zeus queued up. And if we're going to be trying to go hands into Kuzco, I think we just want to get ahead on cards. Because leading on a Cruella just means that attacking us is awkward anyway. Okay, double you have forgotten. Okay, we've got a steel deck. That does make Elsa a bit more interesting with all his challenge cards. But again, I think I just want to stay ahead on cards. What are you doing in my deck, Olaf? What have I done? You're not meant to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Man, I'm playing 61 cards. What happened there? Alright. Hey, buddy. You just snuck into my deck. Okay, Simba to ink. Now what? Well, at least I know what I'm inking next turn. I honestly don't know how he got there. Now I could play hands because he... Yeah, okay, I think I just want to make the most ink efficient plays. It does feel a little bit awkward, but hands lets us go in on Simba. And yeah, okay, okay. So now we're just building up to John Silver, and we'll then start abusing our reckless abilities. Which I think means it's okay to allow this trade to happen here. Which means I can go here, because if that has to go there, that doesn't make any sense to go there. Yeah. Let's do it like that. Yeah, like I said, we're on the John Silver plan now. Okay, that one made sense. But again, we're card neutral, card for card, and we managed to get our lore eventually. Simba is now in a weird spot where he doesn't want to quest because we've got good attacks. Okay. I mean, don't know if I agree with that. Grab your swords. Okay. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Zeus. Now, this is the big tempo we're talking about, because now Kuzco can just go on a quest. Zeus guts the board. And now we have total control. We are now +5 every turn from this point on. So if he has another grab your swords, like, it sucks, but then we're still in control of the game. We just get to drop a John Silver into play, and then forcing their guys to be reckless for every turn. But if they don't... Okay. Right, so... I think here... So here he's going to want to come in on the Zeus, which is going to let Tink chip something else. So... I don't want to play Flynn Rider. So I think I just have to... This is just a John Silver turn. It doesn't feel good because he wants to attack anyway. So we're not really denying him anything or forcing his hand because he's just going to come in here. I could have just had Kuzco quest, but the problem there is they get to... If Tink comes in and finishes off Kuzco, they get to finish off my Zeus anyway. So this is okay. Like, this is what would have happened if I didn't play John Silver anyway, so now we just have John Silver onto a clean board. And that Tinkerbell didn't really do anything. The 1 damage Tinkerbell spread out. I guess it got 2 for 1. But it was a whole turn, and we got to gain 5 lore in the meantime. So what we're really looking for now is some way to get some cards. Okay, so that Stitch didn't do it for them. That was just a... Oh, okay, we get a Kuzco. Am I happy with this attack? I think I would be. Because again, we're just trying to push the point now. No question for you, and then if this is an attack they want to make, we can send it back in the other direction, or we can probably just go to 19 and play our own John Silver, and then they still don't have any attacks they're particularly happy with. Rockstar Stitch, okay. And a Lilo. Okay, so they're going to start drawing cards now, but it might just be too little too late for them. And I think the Genie makes that particularly true. Just an evasive threat that I can drop into play. Yep. We're just going to grab our lore. We're going to say that Lilo can't lore. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Lilo can't lore. And we're going to throw this Rockstar Stitch back into their hand. And this is just the power of Genie and Mother Knows Best and just all these return to your hand cards. It can just negate an entire turn. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. I think this deck is sick. This deck is so sick. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I think this deck is super, super sweet and great in the current meta. So if you want to give it a go, the deck list is in the description below. If you did enjoy the content, please leave a like and a comment if you have the time. It means the world to me and just lets me know you appreciate what I'm doing. And also, please consider subscribing so you don't miss more content like this. We do loads of different content on Lorcana Lexicon. Go check out our other videos. We've got content about the secondary market, gameplay. It's all happening here, so if you don't mind, give us a little subscribe. It helps the channel grow and just means you won't miss anything. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you for the next one. Keep thinking happy thoughts, folks.